Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Intentionally Random broadcast. I'm Anthony's Too Real, and tonight, me and Tina Mo for Show are having one of those conversations that people usually avoid because it forces you to really look at yourself. Tonight, we are revisiting honesty and truth, not the fake, I'm good honesty, not the surface level version. I'm talking about real honesty. The type that makes you sit back and ask yourself, why do certain things trigger me? Why do I shut down? Why do I get defensive? Why is communication hard sometimes? And why do I struggle with trust, vulnerability, or expressing myself the right way? Because truthfully, some of the ways that we move today came from survival, and some behaviors didn't start as personality traits. They started as protection. And a lot of us learn how to function like through the pain instead of actually healing from it. So tonight, we are not judging, we're not pretending, we're just having a real conversation about the roots behind some of our reactions, emotions, and ways of thinking. So, wherever you are watching from, pull up, grab your thoughts, jump in the chat, and lock in with us. Tina Mo for Show. Let's get into it.
Hey, hey, hey. What you say? What you say? How you doing, Anthony's?
I am well, breathing, blinking, and blessed. How you doing today? I know you got to be on what cloud? What they say, like cloud nine? Because
My
earlier the interview was amazing.
well, thank you. I don't know what cloud I'm on. I don't know if it's cloud 9 or cloud 70. Whatever the case may be, I most
Mm-hmm.
certainly feel like I'm up there still.
Okay.
Earlier was something else. I was glad to get through it, but when I tell you I was nervous, I can't remember a time I was that nervous. It's been a while since I've been that kind of nervous, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it just had to do with the fact that Stash Cash is a big presence in the YouTube community, and so being able to interview him, it was a big deal to a certain extent, especially
Right.
considering who he had, how influential he had been as it pertains to me first coming on to the scene as a creator. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just glad to be here though. Glad to
Yes.
be here.
Okay.
I certainly want to make sure that I acknowledge the chat that is in the building at the moment. Precious, we see you. So glad that you decided to come out and chill with us today. We don't take your presence for granted. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to these here Chapmans. Brit Family Fun is in the house today. So glad that you decided to come in today. We missed you earlier, but we're glad that you're here this evening. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to these here Chatmans. La the high vibe coaches in the building. Holland first, she must be on one of them. I don't know if it's the vertical or the horizontal, but I'm so glad that you are here. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to these here Chatmans. Agreed to disagree. We see you. He said, "What's up, Nisa?" I'm in the background listening while cutting the grass. But nevertheless, cut on, cut on.
Yes.
We needed a couple of strands of grass cut out here our own self. But so glad you decided to stop by here and hang out with us. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to these here Chapmans. Um, Corey's World is in the space today. So glad you decided to hang out with us. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to these here Chapmans. Okay, that's all we got tonight.
Hey,
At the
y'all.
moment, and we'll check them out as they come in. But today is one of those days where I'm like, okay, we're just gonna do us some revisiting right here.
Oh, Lord.
Uh, Today is one of those days where I can literally say that I'm like, okay, how are we gonna attack this? We're revisiting truth and honesty. Our
Mm-hmm.
present reactions usually have old roots. I kind of touched on this earlier today for those of you all who were in the chat earlier when I was interviewing Stash. I was talking about how the way we influence others is based on how we were influenced ourselves, or the
Mm-hmm.
attitudes that we have. We learn those things, the things that we do, the values that we have. We also learn from somewhere in the past. And so when it comes to us, um, even when it comes to survival behaviors becoming personal traits, it's one of those things that you learn how to do these things, but you
Right.
learn them from somewhere. Um, And even when it comes to survival tactics, which is something that I don't think a lot of us really take into consideration, is that some of the things that we experience, some of the things that we do is more so survival tactics and not just a thing of, oh, well, that's just the way I am.
Right.
But it's more so one of those things of, this is actually what I've learned how to do. I've learned how to survive hard places, being in hard spaces, and because of that, it created almost what I would consider relational PTSD to a certain extent, to the
Mm,
point where I've learned how to adapt. I've learned how to maintain in a certain way that is dysfunctional when you actually look at it. But because it's my norm and that's all I know to do, a lot of times I'm just adopting something that I've never challenged.
right. Kind of like going along to get along in a way.
Yeah, and the thing about that, going along to get along, you go along with what you've learned
Right.
without question. You go along with the things that have been passed down to you, whether that be fears, whether that be viewpoints, outlooks, attitudes, whatever. It's just when it comes to the mindset of, well, this is what I am, or this is who I am, how often have we taken the time to actually challenge, well, am I really like this? Or did I actually learn this from somewhere?
That makes sense. Certain things that we learn, and yeah, we do have to go back and try to
Hmm.
determine like why am I this way? Like why when certain things happen, why do I react like this?
Hmm. A lot of times, what enters a person internally eventually affects how they respond externally. Some people learn survival in environments that forced emotional walls or hyper independence, distrust, or emotional suppression. And one of the first questions I want to ask for those of you all who are in the chat, and you too, Anthony's, how
Mhm.
much of who we are today was shaped by what we had to survive yesterday?
Shoot, I would say a lot. When you think about it, I would say a lot. Certain things, or I'm just speak for myself. I can't speak for the Chapmans, but
Mm-hmm.
I would say a lot. I've even noticed like certain things about myself, like when I was going through, yes, because I am a therapy person. I believe in God, but I also, y'all, I was in therapy as well. But I was gonna say I noticed like certain things that I did or would do
Mm-hmm.
came from like previous I guess like situations, or
Mm-hmm.
like trying to even just like say like avoiding conflict or something.
Mm-hmm.
I would do certain things just to avoid conflict. Or even with, I would say, tones. Like I used to be like a tone police in a way. To where it seemed
Mm-hmm.
like when, like if you had a certain tone because of like certain things that I may have experienced like growing up, then it's like okay, I automatically like get defensive in a way, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I would say
Yeah.
it have a lot to do with like today.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? That's something I'm glad that you mentioned that about tone, because a
Mhm.
lot of times it's about how something was said to you, which lets you know that you're on good terms with a person,
Mhm.
or if that
Mhm.
person is about to pop you, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or if it's one of those things where, their response caused you to know that you had disappointed them.
Right.
And we could come because we learn those things as it pertains to tone or tonality, it has an effect on us in a way a lot of times that we don't even really consider how much of that affects us to this day. Like it's one thing, and I think that some of that also has something to do with how we come up in society as a whole and the environments that we come in,
Oh,
not just at home, but if somebody is acting a certain way, either to get out the way,
right.
run from whatever that spot is. You know what I'm saying? On the other hand, like for instance, you can hear a loud noise,
Mm-hmm.
like someone screaming, like children. Children have different screams.
Right.
Depending on the tone of that scream, either they having a good time and they just squealing, like little kids squeal, wee. You know what I'm saying? No, not
Right.
literally wee, but you know what I'm talking about. They just out there, they just doing the most. Sound like little whistles or something, like they little referees. Then you hear the shrill of a scream where something scared them or something
Right.
just happened or someone got hurt. And it's a completely different sound that'll have you jump to your feet or run towards that direction. And if nothing else, they could have been loud before that. But it's that
Right.
particular scream where you be like, don't be screaming like that. You had me thinking something was wrong with you.
Right. It definitely don't be enough.
Yes, especially having children, child. Because there's certain screams that they do to make you feel like something just crawled up your back and down your head. And
Yeah.
then it's other times where they just loud and rambunctious and just bouncing off the wall and you can hear them crying and you know the difference between when they're really hurt or if they just want some attention, you know.
Right.
And I think that but all of that stems from where did we come from? You know,
Mhm.
who taught us the difference between those cries? Who taught us that um and that's the thing about having children. Before you have children, you don't have any. But there's
Okay.
something that's in you that gets accustomed to hearing certain cries.
Hmm.
Especially if you had a newborn, you would know if one cry was they didn't feel well. You would
Right.
know if one cry was, oh, they're wet, need changing. You would know if one cry was they were hungry. You know, you
Right.
could tell some cries if they're sleepy. Especially if you've been very attentive, you could tell those different cries. And especially if you are aware of, when the last time they ate. And you think about it, it's like, oh, well, it's time to feed them again. That's why they're over there cranky because they're hungry. And with that, we've also been taught different things, different climates as it pertains to the environment of our homes. Our
Hmm.
parents taught us that when they have a certain expression on their face, somebody's in trouble, especially if you
Right.
got more than one sibling, somebody in trouble. Or it's the thing of you hear something break and it's like, ooh, you go to looking
Yeah.
around like, what just happened here? Because that's a sound that you shouldn't have heard. Whether that was a glass broke or a bowl or whatever. At the end of the day, you would always know what was going on. Bearded Conversation is in the building. So glad that you decided to hang out with us this evening. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to these here Chapmans.
Hey.
Yeah, that tone used to get me all the time too. I know that's right. Let them call your name a certain way. I ain't gonna say all my government on here, but if I heard my mama say my name a certain way, I knew it was
You
an
already
issue.
knew.
Yes, I already knew what the business was.
You knew what was up.
Exactly. And so that's the thing about being trained up or growing up, um being sensitive to tone. Um and you knew the difference. Whether you were being called to come and get something to eat, you were being called to just go pick up something that they ain't feel like getting up and getting themselves or something, or that call I need to be called into accountability call, and it would
Mm.
be different, you know. And don't get tricked where you thought they was calling you for one reason, and you see the belt around the neck when you get in the room or something. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You get to learn it real quick what that tone was. Hold on, I thought that was a different kind of call. You know what I'm saying? You learn
Right.
right fast. And so I think about that as it pertains to how do we respond to certain things? We look at certain people and we'll wonder, what you looking at me like that for? Well, who used to look at you like that? That made you
Right.
feel that way.
Oh.
hmm Who was it that gave you the impression that that particular facial expression means that someone has something against you?
Mm.
Which asks the question, brings me to the question to ask how much of who we are today was shaped by what we had to survive yesterday? Sometimes we're reacting emotionally to old wounds through present situations.
Mm.
Because what tends to happen is just like that analogy I just used about somebody's looking at you or look at your direction and your immediate response is, what you looking at me like that for? Well, what is like that? Your like that defined the look in a way that is negative. And so we have to ask ourselves, what is it about my past that's causing me to respond in my present in such a way that it might not even fit what's going on right now, but
Oh,
because of an
no.
old wound, because of an old thing that happened that never got dealt with. This is why I've come to a place where I can't, people can't look at me a certain way without me responding negatively or without
Oh,
me
yeah.
responding defensively. When
Oh,
I
yeah.
tell you, I almost want to cry.
Mm.
When I tell you, stick to it, you've been on my mind
Mm.
for 48 hours straight. I
And
kid you
look,
not.
and look.
And he's here in the room. Stick to it. I want you to, matter of fact, I'm rolling out the red carpet for you, sir. I appreciate your presence today. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to these here Chapmans. I'm so glad to see you, and I want you to know I mean that with the utmost respect.
Mm.
But
Thank
you
you,
have been in
Lord.
my prayers, sir. You and your family. And salute to the wife. Greetings and salutations to her as well. Um, Precious says certain things be an instinct reaction to me from my past. Yes, instinctively. You know,
It's like a trigger or something when you think about
yes, it
it.
is.
And so it's kind of like it can be so yeah, when you think about it, it's like you responding from something then that I
Mm-hmm.
guess we kind of didn't deal with yet in a way when you think about it, because in the current moment, the way you respond, it
Mm-hmm.
may not even be like cause for in a way when you think about
Mm-hmm.
it, but when you responding like how you previously would have responded or thinking maybe back then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Even when it comes to like the scripture says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. It's
Mm,
one of those things of what is it that has happened to you that is stored on the inside of you? That you're responding more so to what happened, the thing that you're still holding on to internally, than it is about the thing that's actually before you.
mm-hmm.
What triggered you ain't what happened right now. It's not about what happened in this moment. It's more so about what has happened before now, what has happened prior to this particular moment. And so when it's like that, a lot of times we don't even understand that it's not about who looked at you wrong, who said the wrong thing today, or anything like that. But it's more so about what's going on the inside of me that I haven't dealt with,
Right.
that I haven't confronted, that I'm still experiencing, or that's still lingering on the inside of me, that has not allowed me to get to that place where I'm able to let what happened in my past go so I can look at things from a different lens now. um what's deeply stored internally will eventually reveal itself externally. Some reactions are exposing wounds people never addressed honestly.
Mm.
And I say that honestly mainly because sometimes we can compartmentalize things. Oh, it wasn't that bad. Yes, it
Oh
was.
yeah. You sure?
If it
Yes,
was,
it was.
oh, yes, it was. And a lot of times, uh, lady said, "Welcome back, Brotato." That is hilarious. Because it never left. Um, but yeah, sometimes we could come to that place where um the things that we're not honest about that about our former experiences, the experiences of our past, a lot of times will shed a light on what we actually think and believe. Sometimes as it pertains to looking at things from the perspective of it didn't get to me, it didn't bother me, or it wasn't that
Hmm.
bad. You know, the internal dialogue that we have a lot of times about trying to make it through the moment because we don't want to be emotional. We don't want to show a person that they got to us. Sometimes we don't want to show them that they got to us because if they find out how vulnerable you are in that particular area, they'll continue to try you in that
Oh
same area.
yeah.
And so sometimes, it's just a survival tactic. Hey, the truth of the matter is they hurt my feelings when they did such and such to me. But I didn't want them to know that because if I had told them that, then they was gonna always either throw it up in my face or they were
Right.
gonna use it against me in some kind of way. Precious said in my past relationship, I would hang up when I feel it would be a bit too much. I like to prevent conflict. I might not be the
Hmm.
best, it might not be the best thing to do, but I caught myself doing that again. And I get that,
Oh,
I mean, I really
yeah.
do understand that.
That's what I
Th-
was gonna say. Before Precious mentioned that, like when you think about it, sometimes it can be like avoiding conflict, but like you said, what if you don't feel comfortable like being vulnerable and saying, hey, when this happened, this how it made me feel. For whatever
mhm.
the reason may be, you know?
Mhm. So the question I have now is, are some of our reactions really connected to moments we never healed from?
Of course. That's why they like little triggers.
Mhm.
Cause we
Mhm.
never like really addressed it, you know?
Mhm.
I guess the healing would be addressing it. But it's hard, to address some things sometimes because then you gotta be like 100 with yourself, you know? You gotta
Ye-
be honest and say how it made you feel. And sometimes that's uncomfortable to say how things make you feel. Cause you don't want to look, some people may think you might look weak or
Mhm.
whatever the case may be. But
Mhm. Yeah, because sometimes we can carry the load of believing that we feel like we're complaining all the time.
oh
Or we
yeah.
feel like, somebody gonna think I'm soft because every time they turn around, I'm always saying about how something hurt my feelings or something bothered me, or you know what I'm saying. And because of that, you're not willing to admit the fact that that's a sensitive area for me.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's something that I haven't dealt with, and that's why I stay sensitive.
Yep.
When
I
you
respect.
deal with things head on, it makes
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times it makes it a lot less sensitive. Like if you broke your leg when you was 20 and you
Mm-hmm.
35 now, your leg ain't you ain't supposed to be like, don't touch my leg at 35. If you went to the hospital and got that leg taken care of. You see what I'm
Mm.
saying?
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yes, definitely triggers me. I get it. I know I get it. Pretty said right, Anthony's. Um, the Solomon Project. Richard is in the building. So glad that you decided to hang out with us. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Chapmans. He said, I grew up around predators that would do exactly what Tina said. That would be the thing to target. Yes. Yes. And when you've grown up around things like that, where people will take your vulnerability and use it against you, it
Mm.
will cause you to shut down. But at some point, you know, um, especially if it's been years down the road. And I'm not saying that things that happen from our past aren't supposed to bother us or hurt us, but at some point, we should be able to come to a place where it's like, okay, I might not could have dealt with it when I was 20.
Right.
I might not couldn't even have dealt with it when I was 25, you know. But now I'm at a place in my life where I'm like, okay, let's revisit some of these old wounds and deal with what's going on with me internally because I see parts of myself that are unhealed. I see parts of myself that are showing up in ways that's keeping me from certain opportunities. My attitude ain't right. But I
Mm,
got to trace it back to my attitude ain't right because I've been offended.
right.
And I was offended because somebody didn't come to my rescue. Nobody validated me. Nobody let me know that I was worth anything. I was devalued in a season in my life. And so now that I've had that thing to happen to me, when I hear anything that sounds like somebody is devaluing me, and that don't have
Mhm.
to be the case.
Right.
It could be the same wording, but a different intent. Like you did that wrong. Oh, now I can't do nothing wrong, huh? So, well, why don't you do it yourself? And it's like, wait, whoa, 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 hold on. There's a correct way to do it. Let's try to do this a different way. But before you can even hear that, you're ready to jump down somebody's throat or throw your hands up and give up everything, all because they pointed out something that you did wrong.
Oh yeah.
Because the issue was not the fact that you did something wrong. It's about the negative connotation that has been plugged into that battery in
Mhm.
your back because
Right.
of that old wound that keeps continually being charged up, you know.
Right. Mm.
Hmm.
So true.
Um, Yolanda said, offended because I've been dropped just like Mephibosheth we read about last night. We didn't read about Mephibosheth yet, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. We were talking about Mephibosheth being dropped. I'll be glad when we get to that part in scripture, though.
Mhm.
But yeah, sometimes we have people that we were depending on to
Mm.
have our backs. We were depending on to speak life into us. We were depending on to be there for us in one way or another. And because they dropped the ball, because they didn't show up when we needed them to, because they didn't show up at all in some spaces. I have been recently, uh, I recently experienced something one time that let me
Mhm.
know I needed some counseling. I needed some therapy rather. Um,
Mhm.
I was sending someone a text message and I said a bunch of stuff. Oh, I said a bunch of stuff. And then they didn't respond. They ain't say, I understand where you're coming from. They ain't say, forget you, you ain't talking about nothing. None of that. I didn't get a negative or a positive response. And in that very moment, I felt abandoned.
Oh yeah.
You talking about an old wound popped up out the middle of nowhere.
I
All
mean,
because I had opened up and was sharing some things and didn't get a response. And it took me back to where did this come from? Why is it that me not receiving a response all of a sudden has this kind of a weight on me? How is it that this thing of leaving me on red all of a sudden has me feeling a certain way? And I had to trace it back to the times where I felt like I had been left alone. That though I was talking, nobody was responding to anything that I was saying, as if I weren't talking at all. I wasn't
right.
heard at times.
Yeah. That would make you. I was about to say, yeah, I can't imagine that, especially if, say, when you like opening up about something, if that's especially like something that you don't normally do or you wouldn't normally do, and then you like doing it, and then you still like say don't get a response, or let
Hmm.
alone if I know that they got the message or something, or you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying, that it
Hmm.
feel like even worse because it's like okay, like nothing, you're not gonna acknowledge it, you don't care, so yeah, I get it.
Hmm. Hmm. Richard said the Solomon Project to succeed. I had to leave the environment I grew up in and learn how to drop my defenses in order to grow. It was a long and painful process. And sure don't I understand that right there.
Hmm.
Oh well, I've been there a few times. Yeah. I get it. I get it. Um, but that's the thing about being willing to um tell the truth about where you are, and then being
Mm-hmm.
willing to trace it back to where it began.
Mm.
And sometimes in tracing back to where it began, sometimes you find some yourself facing some uncomfortable truths, about people that you love, people that you care for, people that have
Mm-hmm.
cared for you. You know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
in some kind of capacity. You know how it is. You don't have a good friend. That good old bestie, SDSD or something, and they've been down with you thick and thin. But let them do something to make you feel like you didn't drop me like everybody else. The
Yeah.
last thing you want to do is sit there and think to yourself, I got hurt by this person,
Right.
or associate them with the people that also did you wrong as well. And then there's some times where it's like, no, I got to be able to look at everything, all of what I've been through, and be able to trace it back to, yeah, when I was in the fourth grade, or when I was in the sandbox with my bestie SDSD, and we was over there pulling each other hair. And one time she pulled my hair, and a couple of plugs came out. And I've been insecure about my hair ever since, because I got that little bald spot up there. Now we still best friends, but I ain't never got over the fact that my hair is missing up there. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? Now I walk around with an
Right.
insecurity. So now when people say my hair is pretty, now I believe them. No, that didn't happen to me for real. And I ain't got no best friends from the sandbox either. Now, I got a best friend. We've been knowing each other some decades, but still, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm just using that as an example of sometimes we could go through things that cause us to respond to things a certain way. Now, say that same person that says, "Oh, your hair is so pretty today," you don't believe it because you got whatever going on with you. And what tends to happen is you feel like, oh, you're trying to be funny. Now, instead of you just taking the compliment, you become triggered, because when you saw your hair, it was okay, but it wasn't all that, because you could still see that little light spot where your hair ain't grew all the way in from where you got snatched when you was in the
Right.
sandbox with the friend. And so now you're responding to people that actually mean you no harm. They see is your hair look fine.
Right.
But all you feel is, I'm a bald head scallywag in one spot, and you're probably looking at it and you try to check me on the slip.
You told me you trying to check me on the sleep.
Hmm. Hey, I'm just talking about how things can happen with us that sometimes we don't trace it back to, where did this come from? Now, don't add a layer to that. Not only did your hair get pulled out, but you got bullied in school.
Mm.
When you went home, your parents laughed at you too.
Oh wow, that's like yeah, double hurt. Mm.
Yes. So now you have a whole environment that's laughing at you, poking joy. Now when you go to the dinner table, you know, they making hair jokes. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You probably I heard your story last night. It's probably because you got caught choked on that hairball that fell out your head. You know what I'm saying? It be stupid stuff that be happening. You know how kids do. Don't let the kids get on
Yeah.
you. They'll roast the fire. And so you
And
think
see,
about that. Here it is now. You've grown up, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on your hair,
right.
and you still feel insecure because you think somebody see the little spot that is missing.
They may not even be missing. It could
That
just
may not
still
even be
all
missing.
be in your
You
head
see
still
something.
from the trauma.
Come
Or
on.
like not really addressing it when you think about it.
Elevated Chills is in the building. Greetings and salutations. Welcome to these here chapters. So glad that you decided to hang out with us this evening. Greetings and salutations to you, and welcome to these here Chapmans. I don't know why it looked like you had already spoke. Yolanda said, I've been there. I know, right? I've been guilty of that. Come on. Lie. Who lying? Stop
Oh, wait a
making
minute.
some
What?
story. Now, Kevin.
We've elevated. Hello, Kevin. Welcome. Troll?
Oh, Kevin. You must be young. You're talking about I'm making up some story. And yes, I did make up a
Stop
whole story
making.
because I can't always discuss everybody's business.
I'm
But if you
making
didn't
some.
recognize, we're all grown in this space. If you
Agreed.
don't want to hear the story, you could exit or you could be kind and just listen. Either way, we appreciate you coming in and engaging with the chat. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to these here chatmen.
Yolanda got me weak.
Hey, Fantastic. Fantastic is in the building. So glad that you decided to hang out with us this evening. We won't be before you too much longer, but we so glad that you're hanging out. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to these here chatmans. Precious said, that's true. I have situations from grade school that I still
Mm.
remember, which makes me guarded to this day. I'm telling you, it
Okay.
means something. It means something. While I'm over here, talking about while the young Kevin, or who what's his name, Kevin? I think his name, yeah. Kevin over here talking about don't be making up a story. Well, the truth of the matter is we have all kind of things that happen to us early in life
Mm-hmm.
that we still carry the stigmas from. We
Literally.
still end up, feeling things, experiencing things, and we don't know why we feel a certain way. The way, now, oh Lord, now I got to tell on myself. I like a shoe. Now, do I like nice things? Of course, just like
Mm-hmm.
anybody else. But I remember a time in my life where I had to wear, now I'm about to date myself, XJ900s.
Are those Jordans?
Those are buddies.
Oh,
If you
okay.
ever heard of buddies, they are worse than Jordache. They ain't even good as kids. They were horrible. They was them hard plastic junks that no matter if you hit them with a car, if you ran them over with a bike, if you stuck your leg out on the highway, nothing would happen to your shoe. Now you might break your ankle, but nothing would happen to the shoe. I hated them doggone shoes. Now this is the thing. I liked nice things. I still do to this day. But let me tell you something about a shoe. I don't
Oh,
want nothing that closely reminds me of them stupid shoes I had to wear that my mama bought me from the department store that didn't, department stores ain't got no Nikes,
I'm
they ain't got no
so sorry.
Reeboks, they ain't got no Adidas, they ain't have Chuck Taylors, they ain't have none of that.
I had to look it up. They do look like Jordans a little bit.
Now them Johns is horrible. First of all, if I hated them. But that's the thing, when you growing up, my mother was a single parent, you know what I'm saying, raising us and whatnot. So, she was like, you go shop down there at the department store and you go get these here shoes. And I just had to pick the ones that didn't know what I was picking. Call myself gonna get me some little shoes or whatnot. And when I walked out of that place, that had to been the worst things ever I had ever picked in my life. I hated them shoes. I still want to throw them out the window right now. I don't have none, but I want to buy some just to throw them out the window. I hate them. Um, Hello there, yeah. I'm so glad that you decided to hang out with us today. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to these here Chapmans. That residual response. Yes. Yes, Nico Thompson, I see you. So glad that you decided to hang out with us this evening. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to these here Chapmans. Um, we got a couple of people. Well, I've been in here talking. I'm talking about talking a mile a minute. Ain't waved and spoke to nobody. Hold on here. Let me pause for the calls for a second. Um, this baby said hit the like button. The pain of admitting that I've been lying to myself about people that I classified as friends.
Ouch.
Come on here. People don't know what that feels like when
Mm-hmm.
the truth of the matter is sometimes it's about having a bad picker.
Mm-hmm.
You just pick the people that you're close to, you're in the same environment with, or whatnot. And sometimes it's the thing we've been through so much together. I didn't expect for you to do me like that. I didn't expect for you to treat me a certain way. I expected better from you. Just to find out you were nothing of what I thought you were.
Mm-hmm.
Man, and I've been through that before. I've had some people that I consider friends. I was talking to somebody earlier today and told them, I was telling them a story about something that happened with my nephew and my niece hanging around this little boy who was horrible, terribly bad. One of them kids that who he just did the most. And how he went over to my mother's house one time and cut up the telephone cord and cut off all the lights in the
Mm.
house. And I was like, I'm talking about, and he was like 6 or 7, or he was young, whatever he was. And I took that little boy away from there, and he never went over there again. Not voluntarily. I said, "No, you can't come over here no more. You over here destroying everything." Well, that's the thing. I had the kind of relationship that I had with that young boy's mother. Well, we were almost like sisters. That's how close we were. But then I got crossed by that same person.
Mm.
And you talking about hurt my heart. I was like, what did I do to you? And what made it so I could say this. What made the element so bad was the fact that somebody that I uh, didn't have a good relationship with told me, you know how you and I don't get along. Because at first they was like, I need to talk to you about something. I'm like, it ain't nothing for us to talk about. They was like, no, it's serious. They said that person is not your friend. I
Mm.
said, I know you lying. It was like, no. And they began to tell me all the things that that individual had said about me. And here it is. I was treating them like a sister, almost helping them to raise their little bad little boy of a child that she had. And I'm
Right.
like, wow. And so you talking about it hurt my feelings. And I had to walk away from that situation. And people didn't understand why I walked away like I did, but I never went into it. I just walked away. And so I would carry the wound of I didn't trust people.
Oh,
And so
yep.
I wouldn't get close to people because I'm like, either one or the other is gonna happen. Either you gonna cross me in some kind of way that I don't know if I'm be able to recover from, or it's one of those things we're never gonna get close in the first place because I'm so guarded.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm. Precious said it becomes scary when you can't tell the difference between the difference from when someone is being genuine. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
hard place. Hard place.
Hmm. Hmm. Whew. She said that's hilarious but relatable. I know. I don't even know what I said now that I think about it. I'm so far back in these here comment chatments. Um the person said, hey everybody in the other chats. Let me try to get there. Maine is in the building. So glad that you decided to hang out with us this evening. Greetings and salutations, sir, and thank you. Welcome to the Chapmans. I don't know what I was about to tell him. I almost said a whole lot of stuff, and none of it was what I was trying to say. Um, so I gave them some time to think about it. Hmm.
Thank you.
This session is absolutely worth subbing to. Okay. Mm-hmm. May said, Tina, my chicken biscuit of the South with honey on the side. Yes, indeed. Come on. The XJ900s were the fake Jordans. Oh, we got somebody that's dating them things. Oh, they was old. That's old school right there, the Mix J900s. KC the 17 is in the building. So glad that you decided to hang out with us today. I don't remember speaking to you. I know I spoke to you earlier today. But either way, I'm glad that you decided to come and hang out with us. Greetings and salutations and welcome to the Chapmans. Your description is absolutely hilarious. I'm just saying, hey. Oh, he said I had them same joints in the third grade. Come on in the room with them XJ900s now. I hated them shoes, boy. Lord have mercy. Juice drops ENT. So glad that you decided to hang out with us today. Don't take your presence for granted. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to these here Chapmans. Oh Lord, I'm about to lose my troll card. Y'all got me pulling up serious comments. We need them though. I mean, it's the truth. It
Yes.
is
Thank you
the
for
truth.
being
Yes.
honest and sharing.
Oh, he said I thought I was styling a profile until I went to school. It got flamed. Let me tell you something. Those were the ones that would get you flamed. Rails of masses in the building. How you doing, sir? So glad that you decided to hang out with us this evening. Greetings and salutations and welcome to these here Chapmans. Y'all are really up in here talking. He said bald head scallywag comment a while back. Oh, my bad. Hey, that's what happens. What's up, Juice? Yeah. But like I said, there are so many things. Oh, she said she forgot what they look like. But like I said, it's one of those things that you have these experiences, where you are let down time and time again by different people, and you carry that. I may have been friends with this the individual I was talking about earlier with the little boy. Well, like I said, were like family to me. I'm talking about I literally took them around all my family. Dad's side of the family, my mother's side of the family, extended family, hung around everybody. Everybody knew who they were and all of that. And this same individual was going around talking behind my back as if I hadn't been there for them.
Whoa.
And I and what made it even worse, and to add insult to injury, they even had the audacity to tell me, that they were closer to me than they were their own relatives, because
Mm.
they had sisters and brothers and things of that nature. And I was like, wow, and it was something that I had to learn how to Yep. Them the XJ900s. Yes, indeed. Look at y'all looking up these shoes. But anyway, but yeah, like I said, this was one of the things that you remember going through, and um you just don't want to experience it again. I don't want the pain of looking at my shoes and I'm wondering, what is I'm got these buddies for? I don't want no buddies. Now, am I a Jordan fan? Eh, maybe, maybe not. But let me tell you something now. And I'm not bragging, but my shoes are not cheap. You know, they're not. None of them. None of my pumps are cheap. None of my and yes, well, I ain't got to explain all that. But none of the shoes I have, none of my sneakers are cheap. None of them.
Mhm.
No, it is. I do not buy cheap shoes, and so because of, but it's the sting of. I had moments where I was the laughing stock because of what was going on my shoes. Child. And so you just learn how to. Yes, we used to call them buddies. Oh, are those skippies? I don't know if they're
Y'all, I'm
skippies or
done.
not. Oh, y'all are tickling me talking about them XJ900s in these Chapmans. I got to move on from there because we got to get out of here. Lord, I've been talking about these buddies and stuff.
They so they do look like J's.
um, People often protect comfort before they protect truth.
Mm.
Sometimes it's easier for me to point out the fact that I saw this same individual. Boy, I'm about to tell all the truth right now. I saw the same individual snaking other people, and I thought they wouldn't do it to me.
Mm.
And I hung with them anyway.
Mm. 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 That's something, yeah. But then it kind of make you think, like, in a way, I would say, yeah, been there. But when you think about it, like, then it's kind of like, but who are you? Like, what would make me different if they did it to other people? Like, what would make me like
Pride.
the oh, okay. Because I was gonna say, what made me like the nine the where they draw the line at? Okay, everybody else, yeah, but her, she off, like she off limits.
The
But
Bible
yeah,
says
I
you
guess
should
that
know the
makes
truth, and
sense.
the truth shall make you free. But a lot of times, truth can feel uncomfortable because it exposes the things that pride tries to protect.
Mm,
Your pride will tell you, "Oh, they won't do that to me.
okay,
I've been too good to them. I done been down for the, I'm the rider. I can't say rider, the rider unalive. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
right.
I'm the one that's, I'm the ace boom coon. You know what I'm saying? That sound crazy. I don't even like
Mm,
that term either. I'm the friend of the stickers closer to than a brother. I'd use the scripture. That's easier. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? I'm there. So for me to get to a place where I'm like, surely because I've been so wonderful to them, statement of pride, they wouldn't do the snakish ways that I see them doing to other people. They wouldn't do that to me. So the question becomes, do people really want truth or do they want comfort?
Shoot. As they continue on, they want comfort. And then I guess
Hmm.
when you get to a certain place and you realize eventually, then it's like, then okay, truth come in.
Elevator said, I used to hang with a thief. Yep. He stole from me too. Hmm. Come on. We do think we are different sometimes. Lies and hot refuse, as Tina would say, lies and hot garbage.
Oh, I'm about to
It
say, yeah,
is
lots of
their
hot topics.
character. It has little to do with you. It is their character. It's a
Mm,
huge character flaw. The problem be, I think I'm above that. I don't know what made me think that I was so wonderful and full of wonderment that the person I see robbing the other people ain't gonna want. Man,
okay.
I don't know. I ain't ready to tell that story. I'm gonna say that for a rainy day. I'm going to tell a piece of it. Well, I might well go and tell all of it. One time I was hanging with somebody I knew was trying to rob all the people. Now I wasn't in on the robbery or nothing. I just knew that he was just doing the most. Now he gone on to be where he went. I ain't got a heaven or hell to put nobody in. Hey, that's
Hmm.
between him and Judgment Day. All I know is when it was all said and done, the same guy that I was hanging with, we were running around doing the most, hopping, bar hopping, and everything else, kicking it, drinking, and all that. At the end of that same night, he pulled the pew pew on me and told me to drop it off. Now, I was I don't know if I can say I was full of false courage or what, but I told him, no, I'm going out of town. I was lying. I said, no, I'm finna go out of town tomorrow. You gonna have to wait till I get back. I need this change for me to get to where I'm going so I could do what I need to do. He was
Hmm.
like, so you ain't gonna give it to me? I was like, no. I told the man to pew pew me. He gonna have to pew pew me in my back because I'm finna go in the house. And I walked away with my knees clanging together like a band on Veterans Day. Hello? Like the Macy's Day Parade. I'm talking about them just was rattling, scared. I ain't had nobody vest on. I didn't even have my own pew pew. I'm just running around with the most notorious for everything wrong a person could do, and I'm hanging with them. Not to mention he got me pew pew that twice that same night, and I still. Why was I? I don't know. I should have ran, but hey, you live and you learn.
Right, right.
But what made me think that I was going to be able to get back in the vehicle with this insane individual and he was never going to do nothing or try to do nothing to me? It was only because of the grace of God that I
Mm,
was able to walk away. And all he did was burn rubber in front of the house and kept going. If he wanted it bad enough, he not only could have pew pewed me, but the house in which I was standing in front of, he could have went to that door too and robbed them too, which was
right.
my family.
Mm. Thank you, Lord.
Agree to disagree. Said comfort all day. The truth hurts and calls for accountability. Come on, you tell the truth. Hey, Rinky, so glad that you're here this evening. I don't know what time it is on your side of your neck of the woods, but we're so glad that you're here. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Chapmans. Hello, hello, hello. My lies were the worst. Lying to myself about other people's character. I'm telling you. I was
Ooh,
like, surely this man that is almost a complete stranger to me that I done just met tonight, that didn't almost tried to rob everybody that we looked at, wouldn't do that to me. Hmm. Yeah, I was definitely wasn't telling myself not a piece of truth. Coach Mean Green is in the building. So glad that you decided to hang out with us, although we are on our way out the door. Greetings and salutations,
Hey.
and welcome to these chatments in the background. So, hey to everyone in the chat. Whew. I don't know what possessed me to do something. The grace of God is something else. Ooh, the mercy. I can't even say grace. Mercy. God was merciful to me in my stupidity,
Yes, Lord. Mm.
in my dumber than a bag of bricks. Um,
Mm, mm, mm,
some people aren't angry, they're wounded. Some
mm.
aren't cold, they're guarded. Psalm 147:3 says that God heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Scripture acknowledges emotional brokenness long before culture started discussing trauma, mental strain, and emotional healing openly. Now, the question
Mhm.
is, can people heal properly if they keep pretending they're okay? No, no. If you break your arm, I'm talking about break it like you're gonna break it off. If you break your arm, break dancing, whatever you was doing, doing a handstand. Hey, let me leave that alone because it might be a pause coming. If you break your arm, can you really heal properly? I ain't saying that you won't heal, but can you heal properly if you never go to the doctor? If you keep acting like all I got to do is put a band-aid on, I'll be all right. Will you heal properly? Have you ever seen people um that need the thing, the leg, the arm, or whatever re-broken
Mm.
so it can be set right? Sometimes, oh, help us today. Sometimes something comes along in your life to let you know that you ain't healed
Mhm.
and will break you up quicker than you could break up some Legos after stepping on them in the middle of the night. Hello?
Hello.
Um, and so sometimes you'll see something that's disjointed, that's out of place. It's not functioning well. That's how we are in our emotions when we don't heal properly. You can't drink your way into healing. You can't sleep your way into healing. It ain't enough puff puff pass going along, going around. I don't care what you put in or what you lace it with. It ain't enough of that you can do that's going to cause you to heal. What's the truth of the matter is you got to do the hard work and be honest. Healing isn't staying trapped in the past. Healing is understanding how the past still influences the present. How do people move forward while still acknowledging what shaped them?
Being honest.
Hmm. There are a lot of people that pray for peace while avoiding honesty.
Mm.
But throughout scripture, transformation always begins with truth. Every time.
Every
Every time.
time. Every time.
Every time. And that's
Literally.
something, and I ain't trying to be churchy. This ain't even one of them churchy type of Johns. Yeah, did I mention a bunch of scriptures? Of course.
That's just keeping it 100 though.
That's keeping it a thou wow
Yeah, that wow.
in this space. Because truth of the matter is there are a lot of things that we lean on that ain't helping us. We lean on a lot of things. We lean on the bad information that somebody done told us back from 1963 or whatever. We lean on some of the worst information, the worst advice ever from people. Not only they ain't never did it, ain't never gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't got nobody insight, no wisdom, no knowledge, no understanding, no nothings. We have leaned on people who don't even care about us for real.
Mm. 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 Mm.
But because they are living a lifestyle that we want to acquire, or aspire to be like, we'll listen to them. But we can be all up in arms when it comes to the word. I ain't ruffling nobody feels. I don't care what you believe. It'll make me a hill of beans. That's
Hello.
on you. I'm just using it as a foundation mainly because there is something that is outside of yourself that is bigger than your experience that can help you with your experience. And I'm going to close this out. Let me make sure I did.
Mm-hmm.
Can't listen to the wrong people. Come on, King Explicit. I don't know if I spoke to you yet, but hey, greetings and salutations and welcome to the Chapmans.
That
We about
part.
out this thing. Um, speaking to you, King Explicit speaking.
What's up? What's up, King E?
Look, Elevator said that's the illusion of their lifestyle. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes?
We know who know.
Hmm.
We know who know. They
Hmm.
know too. But if it be them and him, y'all
Hmm.
know who him is.
Closing thought. We about to dip in this piece. Our present reactions usually have old roots.
Mm-hmm.
And healing starts when honesty, wisdom, accountability, and faith meet together instead of competing with one another. One thing I don't want you to do is become so heavenly bound that you're no earthly good, as my former pastor would say. Don't be so churched that you miss common sense. At the same time, don't be so logical that you forget that there are other elements beyond your logic that you need to understand. All I'm saying is this right here. Red's room is in the building while we're on our way out the door. But we still want to say greetings and salutations and welcome to the chat. That's to you, sir. But what I can say is this. At the end of the day, when it comes to being able and being willing to be honest about where you are, to be honest about what you do and don't know, to be honest about where you've been and who you've been connected to, and to be willing to be honest about who hurt you because they did. Not taking on the concept of, man, I'm straight, man. No, you're not straight. You're not good. And you're still lashing out at people. You're not good. And you know you got hatred behind for anybody that don't look like what you want them to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Or the moment someone responds to you in a way that reminds you of way back when, now you hightailing it away from them when that actually could be a relationship that's worth having. I ain't trying to make nobody get married. I ain't talking about none of that. I'm just talking about, it could be friendship. It could be partnership. It could be a business partnership. But because you don't have any trust for anyone because of what somebody did way back when, you never take a moment to look at the man, to look at the woman in the mirror. So our theme today is that we're revisiting truth and honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Because our present reactions usually have old roots. Anthony, you got anything you want to say to the people before we head out of here?
I just wanted the people to know, honesty is not weakness. Being honest does not make you weak. You gotta be able to say and be honest, like when things affect you. You know, even if it's like things that you gotta work on. But yeah, like just becoming self-aware and recognizing it's like where it like really starts, because then you can move forward and maybe do something different. So yeah, you gotta be honest, y'all. Just be honest. That's all I got.
Be honest and be willing to say, hey, I need therapy. I'm out here with my noodle loose. And whoever knocked it loose and never got connected again, I need somebody to help me. I need a Danielle or somebody that can help me out. I need some counseling. I need some sound counsel in my life because there's safety in a multitude of counselors. At the end of the day, it's up to you. Are you going to face what the truth is of your situation? Are you willing to face the truth of your past, no matter who it involves, no matter who you don't want it to involve? It doesn't matter when I come in, y'all always speaking facts. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that comment right there, sir.
Preach.
So lastly, as we head out, y'all know what to do. Call somebody. Y'all got Google. Matter of fact, the fact you listening right here to me, I mean, you got some kind of device that you can look for you some help. Get you some. Get you some truth. And get you some healing. Stash Cash is in the building. Be okay. It's in the building. Hey. This woman is doing the dang thing. This is Tina's second stream of the day. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Tina Moe, the show. The Stash speaking to everybody. Now, what I could tell you is this. To be okay speaking. Lord have mercy.
Hey.
Those of you all who are just coming in, we are closing down. If you would be kind and rewind for the one time, because it might change your mind and give you something to think about that's divine. With that being said, we appreciate all of you all that have come out this evening. Thank you for the time that you've spent. Thank you for the moments that you shared. Thank you for every comment. And for those that are going to rewind and listen to it one more time, thank you. For those who come in to, disturb the peace, thank you for the engagement. And for those of you all who didn't hear this, didn't even know it was coming, but are coming in to hear what we had to say, thank you. We appreciate all of you all. And like I say all the time, God bless you and good night. Bye.
Bye.